Hey, you're listening to Don't Lie to Your Life Coach podcast with Kim Arrington. I'm Kim Arrington. I'm a life coach, a weight loss coach, an author, and a badass passionate about helping you connect back to your most authentic self. Join me here each week so I can coach you on how to think all those juicy thoughts that get you feeling your absolute best and taking some big ass action. Coaching has changed my life, and it can change your life too. I'm here to give you real life solutions to create a life you'll love. Because the truth is, boo, you ain't just got problems, you got options. Hey, y'all, hey. I wanted to drop in before this episode. This is one of my mashup episodes where I take 3 podcasts that go really well together. I mash them up to help you, and this one is all about getting used to feeling good. We're going to drop into episode 79, what is your yum sum? To drop into what your unicorn magic is. 81, how do you want to feel? And that's all about letting go of how are you to yourself and others, but thinking very intentionally about how you want to feel. And then we're going to drop into episode 83. Do you tell yourself you're proud? This is all about celebrating yourself. I want y'all to know getting used to feeling good, setting the intention of feeling good is the way to go, especially when things are not feeling good. So take a listen, and I'm so glad you're here. Yum sum is a thing about you that makes you irresistible. It's your personality. It's your desires. It's your vibe. It's your mystique. Yum sum is a thing about you that makes you irresistible to others and yourself. Yum sum is a way for you to see yourself and remember what makes you special. We all need reminders. Yum sum answers 3 questions. Who are you? What do you like and don't like? What makes you magnetic to yourself and ultimately others? I know this picture's kind of creepy. But for women, successful women over 40, we've got to ask ourselves what in our lives needs to be enhanced or paid more attention to. Yum sum is a great place to start. So Yum sum doesn't just answer the questions, it wants enhancements. So who are you and how can you enhance it? What do you like and don't like and how can you enhance it? What makes you magnetic to yourself and ultimately others and how can you enhance it? So this is kind of like our cogs. I don't know why the Jetsons came in my mind when I thought about cogs. Was it Cogwell's Cogs? I used to love watching the Jetsons. I used to watch it before school. And Jim and the Holograms. Did y'all used to do that too? Look at this to know the importance of those questions. Who you are is the biggest cog. What you like and don't like is the intermediate or the middle one. And the smallest cog is what makes you magnetic to yourself and ultimately others. So if you know who you are, and you know what you like and you don't like, your magnetism is there. But it is more important for you to know who you are, your remembered you, than trying to be all magnetic to others. That's the whole point. You are important. So what is your essence? Let's break that down. Let's talk about that. A gazillion folks, you, me, your cousin, and your mama too. Some of y'all will not know that reference, but my Black folks, We'll know it. It's Outcast, okay? Including philosophers' names I can't pronounce, have asked themselves this question since we ditched the caves. Your essence is a set of qualities, traits, and characteristics that make you who you are. It's your essential nature. And here are some questions that can help you look closer at it. Who are you essentially? What are you like as a person? What are your personality traits? What do you like the best about yourself? Why are you rare? And how do you know you're rare? Have you thought about this? Have you really run it through your processing now to answer these questions instead of who you were 5 years ago? What are your core values? What are your core principles? What are your core beliefs? One of my core beliefs is that I'm a good person and that all people are fundamentally good and worthy and shouldn't define themselves by their trauma. Even though trauma so heavily influences our behavior, I believe in the goodness of myself and I believe in the goodness of people. I believe in second chances for myself and others. It's part of the reason I became a coach, is to show people to themselves. When you know who you truly are, you won't fall for just anything, including overeating. This is my beautiful grandmother. Her essence, who she was, is really in this picture. She is over it. She is at a meeting. She is the only Black woman at this meeting. She helped to bring recreation centers to public housing in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. She was huge in that. She started out as a dance teacher and a creative writing teacher. My mother's a teacher. She's part of that 150 years of teaching. But this face right here, that sassiness, that was my grandma. I say this all the time about my grandmother when I think back on some of her challenges. If she had been born even 30 years later, or even 40 or 50 years later, I think some of the struggles she encountered would have been less. She literally was a brilliant, amazing woman before her time, but being a Black woman during the time that she was, I think my grandma was born in the 20s. It's hard. But she went on to earn her graduate certificate from Columbia in New York. And she was impressive and so loved. But here is the thing about my grandma. I was just in Martha's Vineyard, and I don't know if I told y'all the story, but I put it up on Facebook, and my cousin reached out to me and was like, come over to my family's house. We're always in Martha's Vineyard. We stay here for a couple of weeks. And I went over, and he said, your grandma to send me a card on my birthday with smiley faces. My grandmother would send hundreds and hundreds of cards every year. If you told her your birthday, you got a card in the mail. And I miss those cards, and I have so many of them. It makes me emotional. Think about it. When you know who you are, it's easier to know what you want. It's easier to know what you want. When you know who you are, it's easier to know what you want. Desire Rewire is always available. Change is always available. So number 2 part of Yum Sum is, what do you like and don't like, and how can you enhance it? So let's look at some celebs and some of their yum summiness. Oprah is known for her love of books, hiking, and gardening. So here's a paint palette. She's not just Charlie's Angel. Lucy Liu loves to paint. Look at these amazing orchids. Former First Lady Michelle Obama has an orchid named after her. Sir Paul McCartney bird watches. Yes, some of his birds are into the Beatles too. Y'all, I had to. And typing, this typewriters. Tom Hanks collects vintage typewriters. Selma Hayek loves to scuba dive. And Lizzo and that flute. Your unicorn magic. It's Yum Sum, y'all. What do you not like? Because what you don't like also defines you too. Make sure, though, that you really don't like it and you're not covering up for a deficit. I don't like doing this, but you really don't like it because you didn't have the money growing up to do it. I would rather you try doing it and seeing you don't like it instead of using your not likes as a cover. It's a lot of picky eaters, like they haven't had the experience of something, so they decide they don't like it. There is a YouTube channel I enjoy. There is this incredible young man who has autism, and I think he's probably in his 20s, and he only ate 5 things. And one day he woke up and he decided he was going to try everything. And the YouTube channel is just him trying food with his mom and his dad. And it is so endearing. It's so loving, but it just is a reminder to try the things you haven't tried because you might not like it. He's found so many foods he likes, and he's found so many foods he doesn't like. You don't have to lead with your dislikes, though, to feel safe. That means, I don't like this. I don't like, you know this person. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like, that turns people off. That does not help your Yum Sum to magnetize people to you. Vibe. So remember, this is the smallest cog. What makes you magnetic to yourself and your others? If you have the other 2, this one's going to work. This is going to come through. What makes you magnetic to yourself and ultimately others is, you are the rabbit, pulled out the hat, You are the magic. You're it. We all have energy or power that people feel. What makes you magnetic to yourself and others, I've said this a couple of times, the other two questions inform the third. Truthfully, to have a healthy view of yourself, this one has to matter the least. If you care too much about what people think, that can change. Do yourself a favor. At some point, make a note of this. I want you to do a Google search on self-concept on YouTube, self-concept affirmations. It's a whole beautiful field where you begin to feel great about yourself and it radiates to the world. Most experts agree that 70 to 93% of all communication is nonverbal, meaning that you communicate who you are and what you like or don't like through your body. Our animal instincts read this and we are animals, we're mammals. Our animal instincts read this nonverbal communication for survival. So the more relaxed you feel with yourself, your body will show that to others and people will feel more comfortable around you. Now, I'm not saying if you're hype, if that's your true personality, then you'll attract people who are hype too, and it's their true personality. Being relaxed doesn't mean that you are necessarily chill and calm. Being relaxed can also mean that you are so embodying who you are that everybody knows it's who you are and you know it's who you are. Know, like, trust. Mystique. Me, unbothered, moisturized, in my lane, well hydrated, flourishing. That's right, Cardi. That is right. Wiser words have not been said. Being yourself is you being unbothered, moisturized, in your lane, well hydrated, flourishing. Yum Sum, the thing about you that makes you irresistible. Hey friends, you know every podcast episode is sponsored by Half-Life Weight Loss. Let's hear a little bit more about it. And it's a new, shorter commercial, I promise. Hey girl, hey, my name is Coach Kim and I'm your last weight loss coach. More on that later. Yes, I've lost 65 pounds and I'm living my dream of lasting weight loss, plus so much more. And I'm here to spill some tea. What if I told you it only takes watching these 13 videos and doing your workbooks to finally have lasting weight loss? Like weight melting off like ice cream while you eat what you like weight loss? Like being able to go in any store and pick up a pair of jeans or that red dress in your size, like not having to lose weight for an event. You're going to the event and everybody is talking about you at the event and how good you look. Body confidence on 10, friend. And having the most fun you've had in years while saving money, time, and stress. Sign me up, coach. Put me in, coach. Half-Life Weight Loss is going to help you gain your whole self back. I got you. All right. Can't wait to see you on the inside. Hey girl, hey, my name is Coach Kim and I'm your last weight loss coach. More on that later. Yes, I've lost 65 pounds and I'm living my dream of lasting weight loss, plus so much more. And I'm here to spill some tea. What if I told you it only takes watching these 13 videos and doing your workbooks to finally have lasting weight loss? Like weight melting off like ice cream while you eat what you like weight loss? Like being able to go in any store and pick up a pair of jeans or that red dress in your size, like not having to lose weight for an event. You're going to the event and everybody is talking about you at the event and how good you look. Body confidence on 10, friend. And having the most fun you've had in years while saving money, time, and stress. Sign me up, coach. Put me in, coach. Half-Life Weight Loss is going to help you gain your whole self back. I got you. All right. Can't wait to see you on the inside. So you're back. If you want to know more about Half-Life, please go to www.kimarrington.com/free weight class. What are we going to talk about today? How do you want to feel? How do you want to feel? First of all, this podcast is for you if you think that you don't have any influence over how you feel, and you do. You have influence over how you feel. You have influence over the stories you tell yourself. You have influence over the images that come in your mind. And me even saying that to you may bring up some resistance of like, no, I don't. Well, you do. You do. It's a lot of times the reason why people go for mindfulness, like meditation and visualization, because that helps them to begin to feel like they can have some say over the thoughts that come in their head or the images that they see. I'm here to tell you, you can choose how you feel. Now, I didn't say in every situation, you can always choose your actions. You always have choice around that. And there are some situations that'll come up where you're probably going to go with the way that we universally feel. Someone passes away, we typically universally feel bad about it. If someone gets married, we typically universally feel good about that, right? If we're at the wedding. But even everything in between, you do have some say on how you feel based off of the stories that you tell yourself. So think of it this way. Let's say you have a breakup and you feel a lot of relief about it. Another person may have a breakup and they feel very sad about it. Well, it's the story that you're telling yourself that influences how you feel about it. Okay, podcast over. I gave you the punchline early. I want to talk to you about when I realized that we have so much say over how we feel. I went on an artist residency. Many of you all know that, and I still consider myself an artist, but I was more of a working artist. Years ago, I wrote plays, poetry, professional singer, was a teaching artist, did audio documentary. I did a lot of different things, visual arts, and that still lives in me. It does. But I was on a trip. I won a grant, and I ended up going on a trip to Panama to write a play. I'm seeing all these images in my head right now. I'm influencing. Remember, I told you you can decide the images. I'm seeing these images in my head of while I'm talking to you. And I went to this artist residency, and it was incredible. Other artists working on projects. We also drank a lot of beer and stayed up and laughed and had a good time and danced in the little nightclub but I left the United States and I don't remember what was going on, but I know for most of my life I had insomnia. It was really difficult for me to sleep. It was difficult for me to stay asleep. When I went on the trip, I was just blown away by how safe I felt. This place in Panama, families have lived here for literal generations. People don't lock their doors. They don't even have addresses in this particular area. I felt so safe. I slept like a baby. I felt so safe. There's this picture I have where I'm floating in the ocean, so serene, so happy. And something in that trip made me recognize, like, I can feel safe and stay safe. And I took a lot of that safety back with me to the United States when I came back. I would say that my insomnia was never as bad as it was before the trip. There was a recognition that that sense of safety was out there and that I could think thoughts, I could create images in my head of that safety. Now, when I came back from Panama, I was actually angry and sad, and had so much grief. I did not want to leave. So this idea of how can we feel how we want to feel? I decided last year in 2023 that instead of asking people how they were, I was going to ask people, how do you want to feel? And that opens up a whole nother conversation with people where they're able to pause for a minute. It catches them off guard and say, oh, sometimes I have to prompt them with words. So let me prompt you with some words. Do you want to feel safe? Do you want to feel sexy? Do you want to feel loved? Do you want to feel loved by yourself? Do you want to feel excited? Do you want to feel celebrated? Do you want to feel happy, worthy, amazing, balanced, important, financially free? Okay. And let's go on the other. Do you want to feel thoughtful? Do you want to allow yourself to experience some grief? Do you want to sit in the sadness of loss? But then what are the feelings you want to choose after that? What are the feelings you want to choose after that? I've already given you the punchline. It's all about the story you choose. How do you tell the story? This is me telling you that you hold the keys to the kingdom. You can make this happen. And the way we can do this is we can kind of go back and reverse engineer. We can think about how we want to feel, and then we can think about what steps we want to take to get there. And I created something, a framework called Just Do 3. And I created this framework because I was having a particularly shitty day. And I was like sitting there and I tried to do one thing to feel better. I did not feel better. I tried to do another thing to feel better. I did not feel better. I did the third thing and I felt better. And what I decided in that moment was the reason why I felt better was the first thing, the second thing, and the third thing all combined. The attention, the time, the willingness to shift my focus, to shift my attention. I'm sounding like a mindfulness tape, like you are getting sleepy. Like I'm sounding like a guided meditation, but it is all about where you're putting your attention, but also the amount of time that you're shifting your attention. Typically, for us to sustain a feeling, we have to keep thinking, having images, having thoughts about it. And because typically a feeling can only be sustained for 90 seconds. So we're continuing to pound our minds with the thoughts of what's going on, and that sustains the feeling. Think about ways you celebrate. Don't make them just food. Come up with some other ways. Don't make them just you buying something. Like, there are so many amazing free ways to celebrate. Think about how you like to celebrate. And then what's your celebration style? Like, are you, and this was so fun coming up with these categories. Are you an introvert who's going to come outside and play and roll back into the house? Are you a middle for diddle? You guys, do you know what middle for diddle means other than sounding like really naughty? Like, and not naughty, like kind of sexy, if you ask me. I'd never heard this. Middle for diddle is when you throw a dart and decide who has the first throw in the game of darts. And it's the person who gets nearest the bullseye. That's the person who gets the first throw. Obviously, I don't play a lot of billiards, okay? So middle for diddle is, are you kind of in between? Like, you're not super introverted, but you're also not, let's get loud. Let's get loud. Let's get loud. You're not like somebody who wants to paint the town red. Boy, I am doing all these idioms. It was so funny. My youngest had an idiom assignment for school, and I was really good at this. And I don't know, is it just something, are idioms something that are really Southern, or like, I feel like I can hear idioms though in my Northern Puerto Rican and Dominican friends and my Jewish friends. So I just think every culture has their idioms and every area has their idioms. And I use a lot of idioms. I don't know. Maybe I don't know why I use so many. Middle for diddle, are you kind of in the between? Or are you a go big or go home? Where it's like you are going to literally be the, close down the bar, or you're gonna close down the club from dancing. You're gonna have a huge celebration. When I think about go big or go home, I think about when I was invited along with a friend to a celebration, and this person who really didn't want us to talk a lot about it, so I'm not gonna give lots of information, but he had a birthday party and we all went to Telluride, and it was opulent. It was hiking and fly fishing and bluegrass bands and stages built on the side of a, on a mountain, and amazing food and drink. That is go big or go home. It was an incredible celebration. I can tell you that at some point I would love to celebrate my milestone the way that he did, in that way, because he gave everything. All you had to do was get there, which Telluride takes some effort to get there. All you got to do is get there and pay for your accommodations, and everything else was gifted along with these beautiful bags. I mean, it was an extravaganza. So art is your celebration style. I'll come out and play, but then I'm going to go back in, introverted, middle for diddle, where I'm in the middle. Like, I'm not going to make it really huge, but I'm going to celebrate, for sure. Or is it like gigantic? And I love being around all these people, because when I'm invited to the celebration, it inspires me. First of all, I want to celebrate those people, but it also inspires me about how I want to feel proud about what I do. So think about that. And also be willing to upgrade to the next category. Or if you're a go big and go home, maybe you want to downgrade sometimes. But make sure you are being authentic to yourself. Continually telling yourself you're proud is the way that all the sticks and stones won't break your bones. It's the way that when someone says an offhand comment, it doesn't stick to you. It's your way of feeling so connected to yourself that when you do have a failure or something doesn't go the way you wanted it to, you're not just sitting in the proud and saying, I can only feel proud. You're tolerant, because you have all these moments and you understand that not getting it quite right or failing forward is a way to eventually be proud, because if you stick with it, you'll get to where you want to go. It's also okay if you don't want to stick with it. Being proud sometimes is stepping away, stepping more into yourself, and stepping away from a situation that doesn't feel as authentic. So, what are some of the future prouds you want? Some of you all want to graduate from a program of whatever type, or you have this feat that you want to do, or you have all these things that you have thought about wanting to do. I have a buddy who wants to hike the whole Appalachian Trail. Now, as much as I love hiking, that is not a future proud I want, but I love that for him. I love that for him. Some people have a specific place they want to live, or something that they want to accomplish. Think about some of your future prouds. Think about some of the things that you want to do. I know that one of my future prouds is that I want to eventually have the Kim Arrington Foundation that does philanthropic work with teachers, with students who are in college and who will be graduating, with formerly incarcerated people, with artists. It's a wide range of people, but those are my neighbors. Those are my neighbors and everybody in between. So I haven't sussed out everything. Don't, hold me accountable to keeping it exactly how I say it's going to be, but that benefits my neighbors, that benefits my neighbors. So what is a future proud you have? So for the next 30 days, we're going to do a Proud-a-thon. You are going to notice, I give this homework all the time with my clients. You're going to notice things to be proud about. In a day, I have numerous things that I'm proud about. Like, I'm proud I went and worked out today. I'm proud that I recorded 2 podcasts today. I'm proud that I had such a great week with 12-week year. Get the book, get the book. I'll link it in the show notes. I'm proud of myself for sharing love with people, for giving a compliment earlier today, for ending out the week on a high, for going to support a friend tonight at an art opening. I am proud of myself for how I show up, the person I am, for my kindness, for my understanding. So like, what are you proud about? Okay, like what are the things about you that you're proud of? And that's for you to decide. I don't get to decide what you get to be proud about, but I help to point this out to my clients all the time. How do you show yourself you're proud? I like how I did this. It can be that easy. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of myself. Wow, I did an amazing job. I don't think anybody else could have done this the way I did it. What an incredible way. I love the way my brain thinks. I love the way I handled that situation. I am the bomb. Like, I always, when I run, at the end of my running, I turn around in a circle and I literally cheer myself. You cheer yourself for the next 30 days. Take notice of what you're proud of. I think you'll be surprised at how much you are. Like how you do what you do, because you're the only person who can do what you do in the way that you do. Not that do. So here's what you're going to do. Every single episode, I end it with an affirmation. This one is very easy. I am so proud of myself. I am so proud of myself. I am so stinking proud of myself. It doesn't have to be a big thing, y'all. It can be something small. I told myself I was going to wake up 5 minutes early, and I did. I made up my bed. It can be, I instead of me yelling at my kid or fussing at my kid about that, I actually listened to him and we were deeply connected. There are so many ways to feel proud. Choose one. Tell yourself today, and check out another episode. Leave me a comment on YouTube and come back next week. I'm proud of y'all. I'm proud of y'all for being listeners. All right. Have a good one.
Are you feeling what you just heard? Good, good. Repeat after me. You don't have to figure it out on your own again anymore. I'm here to help. Head over to KimArrington.com and download my free video series dedicated to getting you feeling your best right now. Look around. There's some good stuff waiting on you. Got questions? Well, we're always talking on the socials, so find me on YouTube, Insta, and the book. Don't be shy, y'all. Go listen to another episode or join me here the same time next week. Finally, don't keep good shit to yourself. Share this with a homie that could use some help too. Remember, we're not lying to ourselves anymore. We're not lying to our doctors. And you damn sure don't lie to your life coach.